Yo bro, this is Louis Farfields aka the TextGod, and welcome in this video where I'll give you 10 Tinder tips for more juicy Tinder success. If you're new, you came to the right place. If you're a bit more advanced, you've already done a lot of Tinder, you've seen most of my videos and read most of my articles, then skip to this timestamp right here where I'll give you 3 steps on how to execute one of the best openers possible on Tinder. Tip number 1, your first photo decides more than 69% of your Tinder success. 3 quick ways to upgrade your first photo. Number 1, keep your eyes visible at all times. Number 2, take a crop where you can just see your torso and your head, no legs, none of the side stuff. And number 3, if you can pull off a nice smile, then by all means do so. One of the most important reasons to use a smile is because it increases your trustworthiness by a lot, which is something most people on Tinder overlook. And if you don't have a very genuine, authentic, nice Colgate smile, but it's a bit more forced like mine, then please do not smile and look at the camera, but have a more focused look away from the camera. Tip number 2 is one about the bio, and it is keep the factual lists out of your profile text. If you can stand out, you can get the girl out. So let's say you have one very factual, very common bio, and it says something like friends, good food, traveling, and Rick and Morty. Well, guess what? Those are 4 things that are in 666 billion other guys' profile text. So if you have the same profile text as all those other guys, then why would she pick you to be a match with and potentially go on a date with if some of those 666 billion other guys are better looking? Tip number 3, you won't last long without fun. If you are very often getting frustrated on the app, then you won't last very long. Even worse, you won't score any cute girls because your bad mood will shine through in all of your texts. And that's why sometimes I send texts that aren't necessarily very good, but that crack myself up. Like this one. Yes, I do enjoy getting my pooper licked. Strange question to ask though. Oh wait, wrong chat, lol. Despite what you think, that is actually my opening question. Well, you have the answer. Both giving and receiving are in my daily routine, basically. Do you get a lot of offers to lick your pooper? Tip number 4. It's cheesy, but it's true. Show off your dog. If you have one. Research after research after research after research shows us that having a dog increases your attractiveness both for short-term and long-term mating strategies. So if you have a dog, for sure show it off. And if you don't have a dog, then do what we did when we were on a quest to shooting the ultimate Tinder profile picture. We borrowed a fluffy Pomeranian from a sweet passerby and quickly made my roommate Jens pose with it for his Tinder profile picture. As you can see right here. As you can see, this dog isn't enjoying the photo shoot at all, but we didn't give a because now my friend Jens gets to thanks to the dog. Tip number 5. If you don't know what to say, then say what I would say. Damn right, just steal my lines. I'm currently giving away 10 copy-pastable texts for free. You can get them in the video description down below. They're lines that I use, they're lines that my coaches uses. They work for us and they can work for you too. Grab them right now before your competition
grabs them first.
Tip number 6, the best time to ask her out. Some dating coaches say that you should ask a girl out after approximately 10 texts back and forth. Some other dating coaches say you should do it as fast as possible
because texting is just to fix the meetup as soon as possible.
And some other dating coaches, they say blah blah blah. Here's something that I see. I see that a lot of guys are texting back and forth way too long, and then as soon as the girl loses a little bit of interest, they panic and they try to salvage the situation by asking the girl out. Well, that of course is too late, and this has the opposite effect and they completely lose the girl. Here's my tip when it comes to asking a girl out. You want to do it on a peak in the interaction. So let's say you cracked whatever kind of joke and you're both laughing at it, then take the lead and ask her out. Let's say you're talking about whatever and you notice that she has an interest in what you're saying, take the lead, ask her out. Now in the next tip, let's talk about this opener that I promised you at the start of the video, because if your opener sucks, then your ship will sink way before it reaches its destination. So step aboard the unsinkable TextGod yacht and we will sail straight towards the Pussy Islands. Tip number 7, why you have to open every conversation. Do you want fun dates with hot women? Well, then you have to open every conversation the right way and don't just hope that girls will open the conversation with you. Just look at these 2 screenshots. Sometimes a girl will want to talk to you so badly that she will open the conversation, and they usually do that with what I call the peasant opener, like hey or hi or hello, but most of the time they will say absolutely nothing. So it is your manly task to say the first word and open the conversation. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been opened with a boring text such as hey, well, in my case it turns me off tremendously, and the same goes for women. When you open them with a boring peasant opener, they are turned off tremendously. Just look at what one of my favorite matches ever said about the matter. I have actually felt a bit blocked when people asked me how my day was so far, and I'm like, I don't know you, so why the hell do you want to know that? That's how far I've been in my discoveries. And that brings us to the next tip, tip number 8. The opener that makes her feel special. The crème de la crème, the icing on the cake, the very best, whatever you wish to call it. If you would ask for my humble yet always accurate opinion, then I would still tell you that this is the best opener ever. And this opener works on Tinder just like it does on any of the other good dating apps. And coincidentally, it takes just a little bit more work than the other openers, which is a good thing, because now another 50% of all guys drop out, and this leaves only the dedicated motherfuckers. And still, it's easy as pie. Here's what you need to do in 3 simple steps. Number 1, you look at her profile. Number 2, you choose one thing that catches your eye. And step number 3, you start a conversation with said thing. And the reason that this is so effective is because any line that doesn't use personal information could just very well be copy-pasted, and thus it feels very generic. But the opener that we're about to do with the 3 steps is personalized, and so that means you put in the effort, you took the time to look at her photo, to pick one thing that stands out to you and make an opener with this. And this is not a lot of effort, but it's still a little bit of effort, and in this day and age that is more than most guys are willing to do. And so you instantly stand out. And it's about this time that I hear you screaming all the way from where you are at right now, screenshots, screenshots, screenshots. And I'm going to give you those screenshots examples in just a second, but first, have I already told you that I have 10 copy-pastable texts that you can download for free and use to be better with the girls than all your competition? Yes, I have, but this is a friendly reminder. Now, download them in the video description and let's look at those example screenshots. Which brings us to tip number 10, a screenshot example of the personalized opener. Look at this. So, step 1, you look at her profile. Step 2, you pick one thing that catches your eye. So if you look at her profile, it could be that it says in her bio that she's vegan. It could be that she's an NGO worker. She's 1.77 meters. She has a remarkable smile, which you can see because I respect her privacy and blurred it out. She has a headband, she has a pink striped sweater. Or what about a gigantic dog that looks a whole lot like the meme Doge? And then step number 3, you start a conversation with this one thing that you chose. Hey, name. How many people made some sort of remark about the dog being the meme Doge? And she replies, hey, smiley face, you are the first one. That must be because you are the giant nerd, which refers back to something in my bio that makes it easy for her to start conversations or say stuff like this. Anyway, I go on. God damn it, I could have been the first to be clever and meme my way to your heart. Ha ha ha, congrats! So you're that very altruistic person that's environmental on top of that and on top of, well, really everything with your 1 meter 77 centimeters of height. And then she replies back. So as you see, I did the 3 steps of the personalized opener. I picked out one thing, I opened with it, it was very successful. We got into a cool conversation straight away. And then in one of my follow-up messages, I even talked about way more stuff in her bio about her being an NGO worker, her being very tall, and some other thing I already forgot. But I put all of them into the conversation, and this is a very strong way to have a very personal start of a beautiful conversation. How about another example of this 3-step way to open a conversation the personalized way? And how about 2 other ways to open a conversation that don't even require you to think, just copy-pastable stuff? Fine. You can have both at just the click of a link, the link to my Tinder tips article, which is in the video description down below. I'm not gonna take any more of your time right now. And like this video if you learned anything or had a giggle, or if you're just being a kind person, and subscribe, because if you don't, then your next girlfriend will be a hardcore vegan that will try to kill you in your sleep if you even as much as dream of sniffing a little piece of meat.